Hey everyone! I'm kind of diving in today and posting this video before my website is quite ready to launch, but that's okay. I'm at least getting something up. And I also felt like this was pretty relevant to why I'm building my website and trying to put together this yoga library. So in the past, I've made posts to Facebook about the infusions that I get, but I don't talk very openly about the amount of pain that is caused by my fibromyalgia and my rheumatoid arthritis. And last week I had a bit of an incident that has had me laid up for the better part of a week. And in my avoiding talking about it, I had that thought of, but isn't this why I'm building my site? Aren't these the exact same types of people and situations that I'm trying to help? So last year with COVID, I was able to stay home thanks to my wonderful husband. Being immunosuppressed, it was not recommended that I go out really much at all. But I got my yoga instructor certification. I really developed a regular yoga practice at home. And even with all of these self-care things that I've been doing over the last year, I still managed to pop a rib out of place so bad that I spent 4 days laying in the recliner. It started last week with a twinge, and being someone who has dealt with numerous times waking up with the sensation of bones being broken or feeling like you're on fire, a twinge is something that I wasn't really going to waste too much time and energy on. And let me tell you why that was a huge mistake for me. Because this particular twinge in my upper back is something that I'd never felt before, and something that I'd certainly never felt in that location. So as insignificant as it felt at the time, it really was my body's way of like, hey, something's going on. But by the time it got bad enough for me to actually do anything about it, it was too late and I was stuck in the recliner. So even the first day of that, I was still trying to work through it by myself and telling myself, well, if it's not any better tomorrow, I'll call my chiropractor. So after a solid day of laying in the recliner, doing nothing but breathing, I woke up the next morning and so much worse. I could barely even move, even less than the day before. So I texted my chiropractor. And it's really kind of validating when you have a doctor that when you explain to them how something feels, I outright told him, like, it feels like somebody has poured concrete into my spine. I couldn't move forward, I couldn't move back, side to side, nothing. Just concrete all through my spine. And then like somebody lit it on fire. And my chiropractor goes, yeah, that sounds accurate. So I knew I wasn't crazy, and I was really glad that I got into him because this rib was so far out of place, and the muscles surrounding it had gotten so tight that I could actually see it with a handheld mirror in the bathroom mirror behind me. These, on each side of my spine, 2 large lumps of just tied up, tensed up muscle. And this was really hard for me because I've been doing so well about sticking to my yoga and doing my yoga regularly, and I feel like even through all of this time, the pains that I have felt, the flare-ups I've had, I might miss 2 days getting on my mat in a row, but that's about it. And even then I'm meditating or doing yoga nidra. And I oftentimes say that if all you can do is breathe, you can do yoga. And I still feel that's true. That is just hard to buy into when every breath that you take hurts clear throughout your body. But that's what I had to do. That's all I could do for 4 days there, was lay in the recliner and breathe. And occasionally turn my heating pad on. But it wasn't even working on pranayama techniques at that point. I wasn't even trying to get in a full breath because, again, I've got this rib that's not moving. It was all about smoothing out my breath. Nice smooth inhale, nice smooth exhale. Because you could hear it when I spoke, and might even still be able to hear a little bit of it where my words almost start to stutter. And it's that rib catching that catches your breath and stops you kind of dead in your tracks. And I keep doing this, but that's exactly what it feels like. Like somebody has reached up into my back, grabbed the muscles surrounding it, and it's just kind of kneading and holding on to it there. So now that I'm upright, able to stay upright unsupported, I'm able to get back to not quite the yoga, but some of the things that also help to relax those muscles. So you can check out my post about self-massage tools. I'm going to go through some of those today, as well as just a little bit of asana and neck stretches, because that's about all I can do right now. Most all of my yoga routines, even the yoga in bed, have a little bit of moving the spine in all directions. Right now, I've got this, and I've got this, and anything else my spine is not doing. Like a little bit of movement here, that hurts like hell. A little bit of twist, I can't even twist. You see that? That's all the further my shoulders go. So I'm pretty limited in the stretches and motions that I can do, but I also acknowledge that I have to do something, because right now my neck is starting to lock up, my low back's starting to lock up, and that's just what happens when you have an area so tied up. And as excited as I am to eventually get back to my regular daily asana in the morning, little meditation, afternoon, I also have to acknowledge that this needs to be addressed. And maybe had I addressed it initially, it wouldn't be screaming so loud at me to where I'm just a prisoner to my own body. We often talk about self-care and the things that we do in self-care in terms of practice. Most people refer to their yoga as a yoga practice. Well, what do you think you're practicing for? It's the times like this that mindfulness, that awareness really counts. You'll have flare-ups, you'll have injuries, it happens. But the important thing is to get back to it, to do what you can, when you can, and even when life just reaches in and pulls a rib way out of place, carry on.